But let's move on to Cloud, the new Kiyoshi Kurosawa movie, a film about a dropship reseller that gets himself in trouble when he pisses off customers with his scummy business. Now, we all liked this one, but it tops Kevin's list for the festival. So if you're eager to see this one, I can also recommend you go see Chime right now. In the meantime, it's a short film, an intense and uncomfortable thriller that already released earlier this year. But Kevin, you gotta tell me, why is this your favorite film coming out of Venice?
Well, I've seen two movies of the guy. Three movies technically now with Shime. I forgot. I watched Time. Also released this year, so the guy has released two movies, two bangers. What a surprise! But I've seen Pulse and Cure. I actually prefer Pulse over Cure. A hot take, I know. But I'm calling a couple of movies in the Venice Film Festival growers. But like the first half of this is really, it really grows on you because you see this guy going about his scammy ways, reselling products he buys very cheaply, kind of manipulates people into selling it to him, and then resells it for big. Kind of starts dropping people in his social life, and so like, okay, this is very interesting. Where's this building towards? And then the second half, when anonymity disappears of the digital communication world, confrontations are inevitable, and when the confrontation hits and bullets fly, my god, man, that was the best time I've had in the theater in a long time. Especially the sound design. Oh, now that's something. That sound design, I could cry at, and I literally cried at the Venice Film Festival and the other movies. But that sound design was amazing to have in the theater. It did remind me of a little movie called Standoff at Sparrow Creek, which is apparently available nowhere. I've been trying to find that movie, rewatching it before this episode. Like, you cannot find it streaming anywhere. That's scandalous. But the second half takes place in a warehouse, and the gunfights are just brutal. Everything has an impact, and I fucking loved it.
I have decided to not go through his filmography more than Cure because I didn't really want Cure to be spoiled. I heard about Cure so long ago, and I finally got around to watching it like 8-9 months ago. And when I watched it, I was blown away. I loved what he did with it. And there was so much that I saw in this film that reminded me of it, especially with the coping with some sort of, not mental illness, but in that sort of line. Cloud had me from the start. And I was sitting there and I was going, this is going to be so engaging because I can kind of see where this film is going. As soon as it gets to that point where it changes, I went, oh, he had me by the balls the entire time, and now he's just going at it in a different direction. He has masterfully created this first half of this film to make you go, you're going to sit through this. And if you sit through this, it is going to be worthwhile because it is such a clear departure of a first and second half of a film with that final sort of, I guess, just shootout that you get with this film. Just from the moment that he's captured going into that with all of these online this group, from there on out, this movie just took a whole different turn for me because you're right, he had this anonymity and he was dropping all these people around him and he was becoming this socialite trying to separate himself because it was his job. But now it's all coming back on him and binding on him, and that thing that he thought he was doing online is biting him in the ass in real life, which was super engaging. And to see the lengths that people would go to for something that happened online and take it in the real world is just, it's terrifying. And my favorite thing about this film is it is a horror film without being like a traditional horror movie with all the jump scares and the fucking, it's just like, this could happen to you. This could happen to anybody. You could just, all of us, especially with us three being online personas, right? It could just take a group of people to just go find these people's place, kill them. And that's what was terrifying to me, because it is something that could happen to almost anybody in the world. Kevin, I agree. The shootout, the sound design was fantastic. The twists at the end with was just like, it came out of nowhere for me. I kind of guessed. pop up every so often and then just end. I was like, okay, no worries. I just had a lot of fun. Like, it was just like a lot of fun and terrifying and spooky, and I love the mask that the guy was wearing. It was actually quite terrifying. Yeah, I had a great time. I loved it.
I think the shootout is really the standout to where it leads to, although you don't feel like it leads to an explosive ending, because the film is so much also concerned about, like, you know, setting up this character as a scummy guy, and you're just wondering how he weasels his way out of this one. And he turns out throughout the whole film to be kind of incapable, and he doesn't really learn anything. He doesn't grow. He just gets outside help. His scumminess doesn't get him any further, or like he just is a pretty shitty person, and nothing really changes about that. I feel like that's kind of funny. It's kind of fun to see him just like squirm his way through, and like in a way also do something so shitty for not that much a profit, and just basically going all in. And it's not like, you know, he gets super rich and never has to work again from this. It's like moving on from scam to scam is essentially what this character is setting out to do, kind of letting everything else go by things that can make him have a good future as well. It's like that defeatism as well, that like, this is the only option for me now. And that made for a really interesting character. And instead of like closing that in the film's finale, you just get like a 30-minute long shootout. It's like crazy. Okay, that's a ton of fun. And then, like Kev said, the sound design, like, it's so, the shots are so loud, they're so impactful. Like, it's not a horror film like you said, Lachlan, but each time there's a shot fired, like, you can't help but like jump a bit, because it's in this warehouse as well, but like everything echoes. It's brilliantly made. I really love the direction. And I still have not seen Cure. I really wanted to see it before Con. As soon as we're done with all of this coverage stuff, I will definitely go see Cure. It's the first film on my list. That and Fox Lux, because I couldn't find a copy of Fox Lux. The director of
And Kids Return. Don't forget Kids Return.
Kids Return, yeah, we'll get to all of that. Dude, we just watched 70 movies in like 2 weeks, and we're like, oh, let's watch more.
Let's watch more. Yeah.
But yeah, I think Lachlan, your side of it, I might bleep out or censor a bunch of stuff, because we got into the nitty gritty of the finale there. Not to spoil, I guess, too much of it before people get a chance to see it. But I did like the twists and turns it takes towards the end there.
You could just censor out the whole part.
I will say, I actually disagree.
No.
Everything I said.
The whole, yeah. I will say, I kind of disagree with the fact that you say the main character doesn't go anywhere, and he's just like scummy. Like, you in the beginning, it truly builds up to the fact that he just wants to get out of this lower class. Of Japan. He does actually have a solid job, but just the path of that job to build towards actually getting where he wants, he just denies that path and wants to go into this other direction. And that's what makes his character intriguing, and also adds a different dimension to it, besides the social commentary on the internet, the dark web, scalpers. Actually adds also a social commentary on the lower class in Japan. And I'm also really surprised that this is the Japanese submission for the Oscars, because
great pick. Is it though? I don't think it's confirmed yet. Is it confirmed?
It is confirmed. Like, it was confirmed, I believe, just before Kiyoshi Kurosawa's press conference, where he said like, "Oh yeah, my aim was to make an action movie, but in my way." And I'm surprised that that is an Oscar submission, because you don't see many action movies, between quotes, submitted for the Oscars. So I'm really hoping this one pulls through. We'll see.
Yeah, I'm just checking that, because I thought Evil Does Not Exist also is just, it's a submission. Crazy.
I'm also going to go on record by saying I disagree that the character doesn't go through that much either, because I feel like it's one thing, as I do not know much about Japanese culture. From the parts that I do know, your career is a very important part of your life. And it's also a big move to quit a job and do something separate when you're offered a promotion. I know that is especially within the games industry, is a big thing. When a big Japanese game developer leaves a company, that's a big shock within Japan. So I actually felt that even within the first half of him having a stable job, leaving that stable job, and then him going down this deep rabbit hole to then want to leave this deep rabbit hole is like he does go through a change. He just doesn't go through a massive change as it's not a long movie. It literally takes place within a month, a week or so. And this guy's not going to change his whole outlook within 4 hours of him getting captured by some QAnon fucking online gang, right? So I do not agree that he didn't go through change, but yes, it's not like he, came from a different planet and then became that planet's Jesus. He's not Paul Atreides.
Yeah, I think what I'm trying to stay clear is spoilers, so I'd have to kind of mention why I think he doesn't change as much, because there's another character in the film that kind of is very conveniently, placed, and it's like for me, like he takes up a bigger center stage towards the end of the film, so it kind of cuts down on what our actual character has to do, where he's more like a second fiddle, even though he's the person in charge technically. I think that's what more like what I meant than here. But I'll take the characterization of like I say he doesn't change a thing, and I'm wrong about that. But yeah, I think that's that for Cloud. I gave it an 8 out of 10. Kev, you're definitely the highest out of the three of us on here.
9 out of 10.
A 9, and yeah, what
I
about
gave
you,
it a
Lachlan?
4 out of 5. I really liked it.
There we go. So definitely one to keep on your watch list, and with it being picked for Japanese submission for the Oscars, we should hopefully see a release date sooner than later. For sure, in some, I guess, English-speaking markets, you should probably get this at some point. I hope it gets a maybe a bit of a theatrical release. I didn't get to see it, Lachlan, either in the theater. Only Kev was the one who got to see it. Although in a smaller theater in one. We'll keep you posted on that when it gets a full release.